Wait a second, you're not Sheeba. The funny thing is that people have called you, and this is very personal, people have called you my girlfriend or boyfriend or sometimes wife before. I don't know what you thought about that.
I guess we've been friends for 20 years, so I guess I take on that surrogate role when Sheeba's not around.
Ooh, yeah, that's not what I wanted you to say.
No, but in all truth, I've been around for a long
Ooh,
time.
I didn't want to know that either. This is Zamir, by the way, if you don't know him.
You can call me Zam.
Yeah, call him Zam. I'm Shaheed, if you don't know me. Call me that. Or a bunch of other names that people have called me,
Yeah.
but no, don't call me any of those. And this is the first in a video we're gonna call, or video series on our blog and video blog called First Friends. And fitting that you're the first friend, because we've been friends for a long time.
Yes,
As
too
you
long.
said, 20 years.
Yeah.
And as
plus.
much as I've tried for us to stop being friends, it hasn't happened.
I'm like a bad cold. I just don't go away.
That's the best definition of our friendship, is that like I'm healthy and there's just a bad cold that keeps coming back. No, I'm just kidding, that's mean. That's not true at all. We met in Nanaimo when your dad moved over there for work, and you weren't living there, but you came and visited your dad, and that's how we met, because our dads met.
Yeah, and Shaheed, you would come over to where my dad lived at the time, and we would play hockey together. And I remember I didn't have a net at that time, but we had boxes, lots and lots of boxes around the house, and we turned those into hockey nets. So that's the beginning.
Like many brown kids do, they bond over hockey in Canada. This was actually the truth, though. And it's fitting, because that's probably sport and hockey specifically, and then other common interests of what has kept us as friends throughout the last. It has been 20 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. You were the only kid my age and my skin color at the time that I knew.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more now.
Oh, for sure, yeah. We have a lot of common interests, and we do similar types of work. Lots of common interests. I think that's mostly what our friendship is now based around.
There's been one big difference in that I haven't moved around a ton. Like, I lived in Kitchener and I lived in Nanaimo, but really outside of Vancouver, there hasn't been much time I've spent outside of Vancouver. You've spent a lot of time in a lot of places, and our friendship has still endured, which I think is pretty telling about a good friendship, right?
Yeah, but just like anything that goes through a span of this magnitude, there have been rough patches along the way, and we've managed to work through those, which has been great. And I think that it's required a lot of learning on both our parts. But yeah, I've been away. I've lived in Vancouver since I moved back from Nanaimo 16 years ago. I think I calculated about 7 of those last 16 years have been spent outside of the Lower Mainland.
And the majority of those 7 years, I've been here. So it's a friendship that's taken some work, as most do. Sheeba knows that the relationship that Sheeba and I take some work, because you're always around. And so Sheeba's gotten to be a good friend of yours as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I've known Sheeba a long time now, from before you guys got together, and Sheeba and I used to take religious classes together back when I was the loud guy in our religious classes, and I have always been the loud guy.
Yeah, another good way to define our friendship, there's me and then there's the loud guy with me. What's your favorite memory or best memory of our friendship? Because mine is quite obvious, and it comes to you being a loud guy too, but maybe you tell me what yours is.
I remember one trip that I made, I think it was with both of you, when we were in university, or when you were in university and I was bouncing around and just hanging out with you guys. I was in college at the time, and we went back to Nanaimo with some of our other friends, with Anise and Kamel, and there was a large Sheeba and a large other group of people that were there, and that was a fun weekend that we had together.
Yeah, I've got 2 memories that stick out, and I thought you would tell this story. Sleepovers at your house in Nanaimo, and playing with dolls and pretending that it was me and my crush at the time. I don't know if you remember that, but
no, that slipped my memory.
Yeah, so we used to do that. It wasn't just me, but it was mainly just me, and you and your sister would just listen to my stories. So there was that, and then the other one is you were the best man at my wedding, and that speech was epic. And as epic speeches would go, it was not recorded on video.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But what do you remember about that speech?
I remember I could not write a word I started writing that speech when I was still living in Toronto, about 2.5 months prior. And I probably had about 100 words down. And then it all came to me with the help of Sheba's friend Burnell, her maid of honor, I had a chance to look over her speech, and then I just kind of started typing away and just started mashing, and it all came together in the night before the wedding.
And it snowballed while the speech was being delivered, and it got better and better and better.
Yeah.
It was like digging a hole and going deeper and deeper, but it was the perfect speech and totally fitting. Well, welcome to the vlog officially. I know you've been here bits and pieces, but this is your starring role here.
Anytime. You can call me anytime.
All right.